Yo, what's the dealio, man? Listen, you already know I got a straight banger for you today, y'all. So what is it today? It's Wednesday. And what do we do on Wednesday? We're gonna drop some wisdom, right? It's Wisdom Wednesday, y'all. And so I have a really good video for you guys today. We got holidays tomorrow. The market is gonna be closed tomorrow, obviously. So I hope everybody is having a good week around family if you're spending time with family right now, right? But nonetheless, I got some game for you guys today, all right? Now, I'm going to read something off. We're going to do things a little bit different today, all right? So, right here, we got the ability to have the energy is more valuable than the doing of the thing, right? Follow what I'm saying here. We glorify the surface level more than the substance and the root of the thing that we're glorifying, right? Focus on having the foundational energy from the inside and you'll be infinitely unstoppable. Okay? So we could go in on this concept right here, but I'm gonna take it a step further, right? So I always have people, they've always asked me, how do you have the energy to do what you do, right? No matter like where I was at in life. How do you have the energy to do what you do? Whatever I'm doing. And so I'm going to share some things with you that helps me allow me to have the energy to do what I'm doing on a consistent basis, right? So you have to understand that in life, there's different levels of yourself that life is going to bring out. Sometimes it's going to be your not so best self. Sometimes it's going to be your best self. Sometimes you're going to choose not to be your best self, right? Sometimes you're going to have to fight to be your best self. But how can we give ourselves an edge, right? That's what you got to ask yourself. How can I give myself an edge? And I truly do feel like the energy that I have is one of my edges in life, right? So I'm going to share with you how I have energy to consistently do what I'm doing, right? So I have a couple things written down, some things I was thinking about, but it's also some other things that's just gonna come to me, right? But the first thing is we're gonna sit here. I'm gonna spend some time on each one of these, right? We got diet. That's first things first, right? We got diet. And so with diet, you got food, you got audio, right? Things that you're listening to, and you got people, right? So, your diet. So when you sit here and saying, okay, I wanna have the energy to do these things, right? You gotta assess what are you made of, right? What are you made of? And when you really understand this, it's like, okay, I'm made of a culmination of what I consume. Point blank period, right? I am a culmination of everything that I consume, right? If that's the case, then I need to check what I'm consuming. And what I'm consuming, it's not always only food, right? So, but we're going to start there. Because if you can discipline what you put in your body, then you could do have anything that you want, right? So food, right? I'm not eating a lot of stuff that everybody is eating. When I go to the grocery store, I like to stay on the outside, right? Really one place in the store, but which is where the produce is at, right? All the extra stuff inside, all of those aisles, I try not to go down, right? Unless it's like spices and stuff like that, but like seasonings. But number one, I'm not eating none of that stuff that is processed, that has preservatives, right? That has all the chemicals to make sure that it is able to last for 3, 4, 5 years, right? Preservatives are horrible for the human body. Okay, so food aspect, right? We ain't eating no McDonald's, none of that stuff, right? We really paying attention to what we consume and what we are putting into our bodies, okay? So that's a very big one right there, okay? So that's the diet part. On the food part, audio, right? Now, sometimes I'll go on a music fast, right? Audio fast. And it's like, okay, I'm not gonna listen to music for 2 days, 3 days, right? Or I'm only gonna listen to audio books if I'm moved to, you know what I'm saying, do this. Or I've even had times where when I would go to the gym, I would say, okay, I'm only gonna listen to an audio book while I'm in the gym. Stuff like that, right? Because sometimes the music is not the best for the person that you want to become, right? So you gotta think about that. You gotta assess that, right? So I've done that. So audio, right? And then the next part of this is people. What people are you consuming, right? What energy are you consuming? What type of people are you around, right? It's a part of your diet. Because whoever we're around is what we end up consuming. That's just naturally what happens. So you got to ask yourself, these people that I'm around, do I want to consume who they are? Do I want any part of them to become a part of me? Because that's what happens. That's why you're drawn to YouTube channels, right? People put out content. It's something that they're presenting that you want, right? That's how you get drawn to people, right? So you got to ask yourself, who am I spending time with? Who am I around, right? Real talk. This is real life. This helps me have more energy, because if I'm around people that drain me, I'm not going to have the energy, right? If I'm around people that I don't feel comfortable being me around, what's happening? I'm robbing myself, right? So what you eating, what you listening to, right? All of these things, people you around, the energy, the environment, right? All of these small things, they're going to play a factor in how much energy you have to go do what you was put on this earth to do, right? And so that leads me to the next thing. What's your focus and what's your purpose, right? Really think about it. What's your focus and what's your purpose? Now, a lot of people are drained. And so you're drained because where you're at right now is not in alignment with where you know you want to go, right? And so your life is at a conflict right now. And because you're in a conflict, you're not fully able to have the energy to go do the thing that you know you was put on this earth to do, right? And so you really got to start to think about it from a different perspective. What's your purpose, right? What's your purpose? What are you supposed to be doing, right? What are you supposed to be doing? Not what you want to do, not what your ego want to do, right? What you're supposed to be doing. And when you understand what you're supposed to be doing, it becomes a lot easier to have the energy to do the thing, because you want your mission to excite you. You want your mission to energize you, right? I know for me, I need to be, accomplishing things. I'm mentally like a high performer. So if I start something, I'm not going to rest until I climb higher and I do my thing and I get to the top, right? I know I'm gonna go hard. I know I'm gonna go super hard, right? With whatever it is that I do. But I only go hard when I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be, because I can't commit the time to something if I don't feel like that's where I'm supposed to be, right? And so you got to ask yourself the same thing, right? Am I supposed to be doing this thing? Am I supposed to be here? Because if you're supposed to be there and you know you're supposed to be there, now you're going to have all of the energy that you need to take out that task. And this is why you got to tap in, right? And adjust your frequency so you can hear God's voice, right? Because sometimes you're not going to hear anything, But if it's always loud, or if you're always listening to other people and consuming other people, you ain't never gonna be able to hear that voice to help guide you, right? And sometimes you're gonna have these periods and these seasons of life where you may feel like you floating for 6 months, for a month, for a year, right? You may not fully feel like you know what you really want to do, but right now your life is like a placeholder, right? But in those moments, in those times, as long as you're consistently working on yourself, the road is going to present itself to you, right? Always remember, the path is going to illuminate as you walk it. It's like gravity, right? You got to have that blind faith. You got to have faith the same way that we have faith in gravity. When you go take a step, you know the ground going to be there, right? You know it, right? So you shouldn't even be worried. When you walking, are you afraid that the ground ain't going to be there when you walking? Exactly. Right? So you got to have that same type of faith when you on your journey. I know life be feeling how it feels sometimes, but that's okay. Everybody gets overwhelmed at times, right? Everybody feels stretched at times. That's life. That's all a part of it, right? So you got to ask yourself, and you got to assess what's going on with the purpose, with the focus, right? What you consuming? What's the diet like? Who are you consuming? Who you around? This all gives me more energy. All of this gives me way more energy to be able to consistently go do it, because I'm not bogged down with all of this stuff, right, in my life that's just here, right? That's just here. You got to travel light in life. You have to travel light in life. And what I mean is, I'm not saying go and run away from everybody. When I say travel light, what I'm saying is you got to consistently always be assessing your life and where you at with everything, right? And then from there, it's going to turn you up and it's going to help you out. Because you ain't going to have all this other stuff that you got to manage and carry that probably ain't even yours, right? Now you will have the energy to do what you want to do in life, right? So purpose and your focus, right? And then the other aspect and part of this is your habits, okay? Your habits. Now, what do I mean by the habits? First off, working out, okay? I know it's this taboo thing, right? I don't know why, but a lot of people kind of bat an eye to it, but I need you to understand that when you work out and you move your body, right, and you challenge your body, that's the key, challenge. I'm not talking about going and doing something that ain't really challenging your body and your mind, right? Something that is actually challenging to you, that's making you sweat, that's getting your heart rate up, that's making you have resistance, right? Strength training. When you do these things, it allows you to have energy, right? When you go work out and you actually challenge your body, you sleep better. There's studies on this stuff, right? You will sleep better when you work out consistently. Your body will repair itself better when you're working out consistently, when you're strengthening your muscles, right? Your mental health will be better when you are working out consistently, right? And I'm not talking about just going in the gym and just lifting weights and that's it. I'm talking about doing things and moving your body in ways that you probably haven't, using muscles that you probably don't on a daily basis. This is how you increase your energy. You challenge yourself in ways that you usually wouldn't until it becomes your norm. And now the way that you're challenging yourself and your body is so elite that you have the energy to see above everything, right? You want to work out as if you're trying to go to the NBA, the WNBA, right? Go be an Olympian. That's how I feel, right? Don't just go and lift weights one way every day and that's it. Your body's going to atrophy. You want to ask yourself and challenge yourself, okay, what sport do I like? What am I interested in? You know, is it boxing? Is it fighting? Is it jiu-jitsu? Whatever it is, go challenge yourself, right? Go challenge your body. Go challenge your mind, right? Go challenge your spirit, Go challenge your muscles, your strength, your endurance, your stamina. Go challenge yourself, and that's going to give you more energy inside, because also you're going to feel better. And when you feel better, you're lighter. You see what I'm saying? When you feel better, you're lighter. But at this point in time, you should know that it ain't all about the money. Right? That's one of my things. It's not about the money. Right? Life ain't about the money. So to be on this paper chase every day for years and years and years, and that's the only thing that we focusing on, you missing out on the whole point of this whole thing, of this whole journey, right? So you got to sit here and ask yourself, okay, what are my habits? Am I really working out? Am I really pushing my body? This is how I have energy. I've had some high times, some real low times in life, right? No matter what though, I've always been working out, trying to do different things, right? Change my body in different ways, challenge my body in different ways. You know why? Because that gave me a sense of grounding. And when I'm grounded, I could go do anything because I have the energy, right? This stuff goes deep. So you got to really understand, this ain't just about trying to have a six pack. No, this is about being able to feel grounded and feel good about your life and where you at, so you have the energy to go do what you want to do, right? And our bodies are a machine. It's a system. And when you work out, it actually helps your body reach its peak potential, right? It helps your body, it's a filtration system, right? It helps your body get rid of what's not supposed to be there when you are working out. When you're not, what's going to happen? Your body going to start malfunctioning just like a machine would, and then you're going to have to troubleshoot it, right? And another thing is, you got to take time to dream, right? You got to take time to dream. When you dreaming, you're going to be energized because those dreams are going to excite you. And when you're excited, it's easier to be energized, right? If you drained, are you going to be energized? No, you ain't going to do the thing. You got to find things that excite you. You got to dream about things that excite you. Sometimes it may be hard to dream. Get around people that support you dreaming, that tell you to dream, right? You got to get into an energy of dreaming, because when you're able to dream, you're able to get excited. And when you're able to get excited, it ain't nothing you can't do, because you will have the energy to go do the thing. So when I start something new, I like to make sure that I'm locked in on it. I like to make sure that I got this. And I put all of my focus in that direction for a period of time, because I know in order to start anything, you got to have a hell of a lot of energy to really get that thing moving, right? So listen, y'all, I hope that this video helped, right? If you made it down to the end of this video right here, I want to say I appreciate you. And in the comments, put in the comments, I'm charged up, all right? I'm charged up. I hope that you take things from these videos and you apply them to your life, right? But it ain't about just a money chase. It's about having the energy. And I hope that you understand what I'm saying in these videos, and you can apply things from this video to your life right now. I mean, you can help your life turn up, all right? So put I'm charged up in the comments, and I appreciate all of you guys tuning in, all right? Like I always say, make sure you get up out your head, go get into this world, because your head is a dangerous place to live, all right? And also remember, y'all, the more you study, the less you worry, all right? I appreciate y'all tapping in. I'm gonna see you guys on the next video. All y'all stay smooth, man. Peace.